So we're going to go ahead and shift to this now. So NFL talk. So Ethan, from Miami, you love your Dolphins. What's your expectation this season when it comes to the Miami Dolphins?
To improve from last season, from a 5'11", just an improvement. Because I feel we added players like Brian Jones in the free agency, Kyle Van Noy from your Patriots.
Great corner,
you just
great linebacker.
Great linebacker there. We got a couple of defensive linemen and offensive lines in the draft. And we got some good key points, and especially drafting Tua as well, for their future quarterback, hopefully, since 20 years. For 20 years.
Hopefully.
For a quarterback. I know, hopefully, because every time we say this is our quarterback, somehow, some way, this is not our quarterback, you know?
So speaking of quarterbacks, so how long have you been a Dolphins fan? All your life?
All my life.
So walk me through, I guess, the Ryan Tannehill getting drafted there. What did you think?
I think it was a good move because we needed a quarterback at the time. When we drafted him in 2012, it was coming out of Texas A&M. I think the number 17 we picked him. So it was like our first pick in the draft that year, 2012. I think it was pretty solid. Like he was a good like average quarterback, as you see him with the Titans right now. He's a good average quarterback.
But were you happy with that pick?
Was I happy about that pick at the time? If I'm going to be real with you, I wouldn't say how my reaction was. I think I was pretty good because we had Matt Moore as our quarterback at the time.
And he was a solid backup.
He was supposed to be the quarterback to teach Tannehill, but Tannehill beat him out in that season.
Now, did your fellow, I don't know if you were around people when that was going on, but were they happy with that pick?
Yeah, my family was pretty happy with that pick, I think, because we were trying to get the quarterback of the future.
Of course.
We thought it was Tannehill, but I think Tannehill was – Things happen. But there was like one season, if you didn't get injured with Campbell, if you remember that season, 2016.
Yeah, they were like 10-6.
Yeah, 10-6. They were going pretty good, you know, before Tannehill got hurt. But Matt Moore helped us out with a couple of wins there, especially a blowout against the Jets. If you remember that Saturday night game.
It was a Saturday night game. No. So now, okay, so you have the Tannehill reaction. So now, what's the difference between that and landing a guy like Tua? Because to me, Tua was, in my opinion, on track to be the number one overall pick. You know, obviously the injuries happened and Joe Burrow happened. So what was the reaction now for you when, you know, you go from a guy like Tannehill, then obviously, you know, the little Josh Rosen stuff and the Fitzpatrick, you know, stopgap happens, but then you get Tua Tagovailoa. Now, to me, Tua was obviously a more sought-out prospect from Ryan Tannehill. So what's the difference in reaction when you get a quarterback that is known as, you know, could be known as a savior or is possibly known as possibly the best college prospect that we've seen at the quarterback position?
I really like Tua because I feel he's more accurate. He can run around. He's mobile. Kind of like Tannehill. He's mobile.
Yes.
Around the pocket. And I don't know why people doubting his running ability and all that. When you see his videos of him actually running routes and pretty good from that injury, from the ACL injury, like I compare him to the legendary 49ers, like Steve Young, how he runs around the ball and he's a lefty hand thrower. Tua is a left hand thrower.
Of course.
Compare him with Steve Young, because I can feel like with the right players, with the right offensive line, because we're trying to build an offensive line. We've been building an offensive line for I don't know how long. I've been saying that, and defensive line. We always struggle both sides of the ball for Miami. But once you have like a solid line and solid deep, I feel like we could do something because we already have the wide receiver. We got Parker, Preston Williams. We got him. Jakeem Grant is another wide receiver right there. We got Malcolm Perry, who can be like Taysom Hill.
Exactly.
It's a special route. He's coming from Navy, so they did the triple option. If you know what that is.
Yes. And then
how Navy and Army runs that.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It could be the quarterback who runs it, or the H-back, or the actual running back.
Yeah, I've seen some of those Navy football games. They like to add not a lot of like read option plays, but a lot of wildcat offensive stuff, which, you know,
runs it back
into the NFL.
You see how many trick plays we had last year. You
exactly.
Remember the field goal one? I was actually at that game where they did that fake field goal. I was like, what are they doing? They're doing this.
Was that against the Eagles one?
Philly, yes, Philly.
Man, that was I was laughing. I was laughing just because of the fact that.
No, you have no idea how the atmosphere felt like a Philadelphia game. It wouldn't even felt like Miami home game because there were so many Philly people there.
That was definitely a fun one. But so going back to Tua though, I feel like a big knock against Tua though is it's the same knock that I have against Baker Mayfield. Not trying to compare both of them, but like if you saw Baker Mayfield last season, obviously he got knocked on his butt, plain and simple. But I think the biggest problem for him was he was trying to be athletic when he really isn't athletic. Now, Tua's more athletic than Baker, but the thing about Tua is that when I see him run out of the pocket, he's not as fast as I feel like he thinks he is. And I feel like that's what's gotten him in trouble with the ankle injury and with the hip injuries when he was coming out of college. And a lot of people were having reservations, not just because of the injuries, but of the mentality and some of his decision making with that kind of stuff. Because you've seen it, Ethan, and I know that you're a Miami guy, so you've seen like Tannehill get hurt. You know what I mean? You've seen different quarterbacks got hurt. I remember seeing specifically during the Pat White time.
Oh my gosh, that
you
Pat
remember
White
him? Yeah, there was.
I remember seeing that. They were down. He was down for like about half an hour. That game.
Yeah, and you. I mean,
and
so
that was his career right there.
Series.
It was
exactly.
that was 1 year, and his career was ended in week 17. And
exactly, and I believe like 2 or 3 quarterbacks went down. I want to say at least like 2 quarterbacks went down in that game. I can't remember specifically, but I do remember the Pat White thing.
I know Pat White got injured.
Exactly.
In 09. I'm trying to remember 09 because like I know it was part of Chad Henne because Pennington was gone.
He was gone.
Like Pennington was done. He came in one game against the Titans that year. He went to one play and then he got freaking went back to the bench.
Yeah.
For some odd reason.
Exactly.
And then Chad Henne ran right back into the game.
Yeah, and so you've seen the injuries. So the concerning part about me is the decision making with Tua. I'm scared
that's too. I also noticed that the decision making a little bit. Sometimes where that injury, going back to the injury where it caused him to go down the stocks of the draft.
Yeah.
I think if he had thrown away before that happened, I think he wouldn't still. He'll probably be the number 1 pick. For
exactly. And you would have gotten Joe Burrow. I mean, regardless, you guys were going to be okay just because of the fact that Tua and Burrow. There's things I like about both of these guys. I feel like for Miami, I feel like they should start Tua week 1. The guy's ready to play. Let him rip. Because, Miami's the kind of football team that is built well going into this season. By that, I mean, you got the coach and Brian Flores. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think that was the right move, but great for him because Miami looks like they finally have a solid coach. It's been a first time in a while. And so you have Flores in there. And what the guy is implementing is a lot of the things that a lot of Bill Belichick, the people that come out of Bill Belichick's coaching tree don't do as much, you know what I mean? And, you're Miami, you draft a couple linemen, which you did. You built a strong defense and you paid for good corners. You have Xavier Howard, you have Byron Jones. I believe you have Aqib Talib as well, till end of his career. But again, it's Aqib Talib, and he's good and he's smart and he's a veteran that you have there. And the linebacking core is coming along as well. I mean, you took Landon Roberts.
I think Talib is I think we let him go because he's not on the roster anymore.
Did you let him go?
Yeah, because we don't have him on the roster. He never played last year at all.
Last year he was injured.
Yeah, but he was injured. But we never played him at all.
But okay, so he's out. But regardless of that, though, you still have 2 solid big corners as well to help you out there. It sucks that you guys didn't keep Minka, but Aqib Talib Aqib Talib would have been good. Would have been good for the leadership in there. But regardless if he's out, I mean, Xavier Howard's solid. Byron Jones is great. You have a solid linebacking core. Jerome Baker showed a lot of promise.
Baker, where my mama.
Yeah, so he's great. He's great. And then as well as, the offense, again, that offensive line is coming along. Devontae Parker being there, Jakeem Grant being there. I feel like this would be the time to have Tua start. With Tua starting, I feel like you could go, 9-10 win team. Obviously, that's not going to happen because of the fact that
the first year I don't see that. Like the first year, that'll be impressive. That'll be like my highest ceiling. That'll be my highest ceiling a little bit.
Exactly.
9-7, 10. That's going a little bit too much, but
I mean, I'm telling you, like
7-9.
Well, the thing is, I think they're going to mess up though, and they're going to start off with Fitzpatrick. I feel like the way it's going to go is. It'll be about 2, 3, 4 games before they get Tua in. Because let's face it, you're going to see Tua at some point this year.
Oh yeah, no,
you're going to see.
That's why I was saying about Fitzpatrick starting because I know Tua's going to come eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason why I have Fitzpatrick starting just in case, for Tua to look to see in a veteran's perspective, how the games run. That's why I wanted Tua to watch, for a little bit, kind of like Patrick Mahomes was with But the only difference was they had Alex Smith, who was pretty decent.
And they're still winning. They're still winning with him. They went to the playoffs.
Yeah, they were still winning with him, so they didn't even need Mahomes right in there. You know.
So what do you have? So what do you have Miami finishing right now?
The way it is going, especially your Patriots losing a lot of players though.
Yeah.
From that COVID stuff. But
so what do you have Miami with the record?
I say we're good, like 7 wins. We get a good 7 wins. We much better with 2 more wins.
I think.
I feel that's pretty good. The reason why I say that because I think we can upset some teams there in the tough schedule we have. We have the third toughest schedule, but I feel like we can upset some teams. You know, kind of like we upset you guys in the Pats in Week 17.
That was don't remind me of that one.
Like I could tell Brian Flores is taking from Bill Belichick. He's like, that was last season. That's last season. This is this season. We care about this season. No one cares about that. He's taking Bill Belichick type of perspective, you know.
Exactly, and that's what I feel like. That's what Miami was needing. So you know, they got a coach, they got the quarterback, they got a good defense. So we're gonna see what goes on there. But now shifting to this, I am a believer that the Patriots, what they're doing, it's so obvious. I'm like, people hate the tank word, but to me, it's just tanking, man. I'm trying to not say tank just because of the fact that everyone hates that word, and it's not a hot take at all whatsoever. Because I know there's some people that think that.
Do you not see how much money they're going to get next season for free agency?
I believe it was up north around $90 million with cap.
Like almost $100 million for next offseason to spend.
Exactly.
Spend players. So for you guys right there, you got that, and then you got the draft right there.
So do you agree with this thing about, you know, the Patriots tanking?
I don't think they will tank because you know how Bill Belichick is. He wants to win with the players he got. In case they start struggling, then yeah, you gotta. But of course, you want to win every game too at the same time. You don't want to seem like a garbage machine. You just let go of your fans, say, we don't care about you. You know.
I get it, but Ethan, come on. If you go 2-14, which I don't think they will, but if you go 2-14, it's not the end of the world. If you go 2-14 this coming season, you know what I mean.
The only reason why I wouldn't say they'll have like a losing record is because they have Cam Newton. I know Cam Newton's not the same Cam Newton from injuries. All that, you know. I understand that, but if you remember in Carolina, he didn't have like a solid wide receiver as like a main star wide receiver. He had Ted Ginn as junior at the time when in 2015.
But he did have DJ Moore. But he did have TJ Moore. Kelvin Benjamin wasn't terrible. I mean, of course,
but I'm talking about the Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, but that was okay. So the year that Kelvin Benjamin went down, they went 15-1. And then obviously, you know, the Super Bowl happened for him. But to me, it's more of a one-hit wonder to me. Just because of the fact that I know Cam has been to the playoffs before. He's been to the playoffs 4 times. But what's the result and all that, you know, for me that I've seen? You know, I feel like, you know, in Carolina, a lot of things were working in his favor just because of the fact that he may not have those receivers that you're talking about. Towards the tail end, though, you got DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. Those guys aren't chumps.
And you just picked up Lamar Miller. He's a good
for the Pats.
Run and pass.
Yeah, but going into Cam, though, I'm not a huge fan of this just because of the fact that I don't really trust him to lead the team, man. There's a lot of immaturity qualities that are in there with the guy. You know, I feel like he's living in the moment. And I don't know if you listen to Colin Cowherd at all, but, you know, the guy says it best, man. You can't change somebody for a really long time. If you're in a relationship with a girl and you like the girl and you're trying to change yourself, that's only going to work for about 2 to 3 months. Eventually, your true self is going to start to come out. So, you know, Cam might be it for a couple games and he might have the Patriot attitude for a couple of games, but eventually the critics are going to come in, which this football team isn't as great on paper. They have terrible weapons.
So you think it's going to turn out like Antonio Brown?
I don't think so. I don't think so either. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to go that path. But I feel like the criticism is going to get to him. It's going to bother him as the weeks go by. Who knows if Cam starts just because of the fact that he's not getting all the reps either as well. And I'm not saying the Patriots are going to be 2-14 either. Don't get me wrong. I have the Patriots going at 5-11.
Wow.
I have 5-11.
Wow, that sucks me because a lot of Pats fans are saying like a winning record.
No, man, definitely. And I've heard that. And in my latest video that I have up on my page, people I know a lot of people personally that think that they're gonna win like the division. They're gonna go 10-6. And and you know, to those people I say, man, like be real with yourself, man. Life's all about being real with yourself. and this is not a good football team. For me to
Like
tell you that,
I don't see them winning a division. I see Buffalo winning a division.
I see Buffalo winning the division. I'll tell you this: I'd rather have the Jacksonville Jaguars weapons over the Patriots weapons. That tells you something. And, where's Jacksonville going to be at? You know what I mean? They're tanking too. So I don't think
tanking.
That's for sure. And so I definitely don't see a winning record. There's no way there's a winning record. If Cam Newton takes his team and gets a winning record with them and starts all the games, Jesus, I'm sorry. I'll apologize. Man.
I feel like in 2 months, I already have a feeling you're gonna have an apology video.
For Cam, no way, man. I don't see that.
It'll be October. You'll be saying, "I'm sorry, guys. I doubt you guys wrong."
Hold me to it. There's no way.
I will definitely just remember this video for sure.
Hold me to it. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. If Cam, the Patriot way is they're not gonna just go with your needs. And in Carolina, that's what they were doing, and he struggled. I don't see that. They have terrible weapons. That offensive line is going to be struggling. It's not going to be what it once was. They lost Dante Scarnecchia this past offseason as well, and that's as good as they come as far as an offensive line coach. They lost Marcus Cannon as well already. So, and that's a solid lineman that they have at the right side of that old line. So I don't really see it. I see them struggling. Again, it's not tanking or, like Colin Cowherd calls it, it's just repositioning the team. Don't be surprised, Ethan, if they trade away Stephon Gilmore within the first 7 weeks. Just, again, because they want to get that draft capital to trade up for those quarterbacks. You got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance going in there. Now, I don't think they'll get Trevor. I think the Jaguars are going to get Trevor. I want Trevor. I hope we get Trevor. But that's not going to happen. I feel like Justin Fields is going to be the guy. Again, that's just my thought.
I still remember this early offseason that everyone's like, Stidham's our guy. Everybody, this is our guy. And then everyone switched to Cam.
I never bought that, man.
Everyone switched to Cam Newton in a heartbeat. Cam Newton's our guy.
If you were a coach and you saw Stidham ripping it, and you could see guys that can play and guys that can't play, would you have signed Cam if you were 100% confident in Stidham?
Yeah, see, like that. That's why they probably signed Cam Newton there.
Exactly, and that's
because the only time I saw Stidham play in the regular season was like, what was it, a few plays, and then Jamal Adams took it to the house.
Yeah, you picked them off and stuff. So I was very high on him coming out of college, out of Auburn, but I'm not really sold on the guy just because
I just gotta see more play.
Exactly.
That's how I feel. I gotta see more play.
Where do you have the Patriots finishing up in the division?
I actually got them second in the division.
Second.
I actually got them a good 9-7. It's gonna be again the AFC East.
So you have them having a winning record?
Yeah, I see them a winning record
because of Cam.
I think because of Cam. Because initially I had them third and I had Miami second.
Okay.
In the beginning before Cam Newton because I didn't really trust in Stidham.
Okay.
Because I really felt that the offense was gonna struggle more, but I think they had a solid defense before, of course, the COVID.
Of course.
But now I see them because of Cam Newton. If Cam Newton could be like 2015 Cam Newton, yes. If he's like struggling, flip a coin and it's gonna be possibly third seed.
Yeah, man.
But I still have the Patriots this close of being the winner of the division.
I really hope you're wrong.
Because of how Josh Allen can screw up against the Pats. That's the only reason why.
I hope you're wrong, man. I hope you're wrong. Not just to win a debate, man. I could care less about that right now. I just 100% want you to be wrong because I want to get ready for the future, man. This is the season to do it. COVID going on. Who knows what happens to the season? But, it's like the Warriors and the Patriots would be terrible during the COVID, during this whole pandemic, And for the Patriots, I feel like you got to take one step back to take two forward. Again, it's just repositioning your team. Don't be surprised if Stephon gets traded. I can see that happening. They have a lot of corners. Bill's going to be moving pieces. He's a mastermind. And, if you wanted Cam, he would have signed him earlier and not let other teams try to get him, which I don't think no one tried. But regardless, you run the risk. So I don't see this team being a threat. I'm going to take a losing season, man, this year.
Yeah.
I'm a fan, but I call it as I see it, man. I'll take a losing season just because I want one of those college quarterbacks on that. So on that note, so you have Buffalo winning the division, correct?
Correct.
Then you have the Pats, followed by the Dolphins and the Jets.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sticking with that.
I'm rolling with the Bills, then the Dolphins, then actually the Jets. I have the Jets at third at 6-10, and I have the Pats at 5-11. So we're gonna see how that goes. I hope we get an NFL season, and that's that. So Ethan, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Subscribe to the Critical Condition, and also subscribe to Ethan and Mike as well. And thank you for listening, guys.
Hey, thanks for joining me, Ethan. It's great having you on, man.
Always. Can't wait for any more future. If you want me on, let me know.
Awesome, man.